So today we're going to be doing photo shoots to see how we are empowered, and one of the the places is SYMO, and I love it because you can express yourself freely with lots of other people who've also got difficulties in communications and things, and I've just laid down some props to see what ideas I can have. Sometimes I can get a bit muddled up, so I need a little bit of guidance. But I do my best, and SYMO here helps me do that because everyone's understanding.
So I'm Kev Howard and I'm a photographer. I kind of specialise a lot in fine art photography and portrait photography. And the project that I'm working on with SYMO today is taking portraits of three of the members of SYMO for a bigger project called Stomping Grounds. So Stomping Grounds Festival is a celebration of predominantly performing arts with people with learning difficulties and neurodivergence and sort of physical disabilities, and it's a celebration of artistic practices of various organisations and individuals that are part of the festival. So I've been brought in to take a series of 20 portraits of people to go into exhibition a week before the Stomping Ground Festival opens, and then throughout the whole of the Stomping Grounds Festival of October and November at Carb'n'ara.
So Sheva, what kind of idea have you got, or how would you like your portrait to be taken?
Well, I use a tent when it gets too much for me because I get very overwhelmed, and I get my headset on and I feel safe and secure until I feel really better to come out of the tent, and that's going to be one of the shots we're going to be doing today.
It was really good because all of the ideas, which for me is the really important thing, is really coming from the participants themselves and the people that I'm photographing.
I'm happy for all the girls. I'm doing backing dancer.
You're like kind of the fourth member of the band, really, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
With the three stars of Carb'n'ara beginning to relax a little, after the first half hour or so of photo shooting, it was time to retire indoors to take a look at what Kev had already shot and prepare for the next phase.
Like you're going here like that, and then us two on the
kind
floor.
of like that as well, because it's kind of a little bit tighter.
It's not cutting off our heads there. That's going straight.
Good one.
Is it?
No, don't cut that off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just
that-
looks like straight up there.
That
Is
is
that how
actually
you've done that?
that would
That looks
actually
really good.
that would actually be good fun.
Yeah. Ooh, but
The one where one standing up, I'm doing this,
Yeah.
and Rosie's down. Is that? I think something's telling me that looks better than the other one, where it's symmetrical.
cool. I think, yeah, we've got, I mean, that's back to the beginning there,
Yeah.
but we've got some really strong shots.
We've got some awesome shots.
So,
Well done.
yeah, so, shall
We
we
do try.
do the, what we call it ones now, individuals?
Yeah.
Shall we do Sheva first? Again, the important thing about all of the portraits is photographing people who feel empowered and in places of empowerment. So, for example, the group shot outside was to show that SYMO is their place where they feel empowered, they've got a community here which they're really integrated into, but also their creativity, their output is from here. In terms of music as well as films that you're making. But for Sheva, she sort of wanted to be photographed in front of the tent because at times when things get a little bit too much, which could be noise, or just needs a little bit of a break from people, then she's got a tent which she can go into and just gather her thoughts again and just sort of get back to that feeling of be, and then comes back out invigorated and ready to go again. And for her, that's a really important place to be able to just a little bit of de-stress, catch her thoughts, a little bit of meditation, and then she's ready to come back out and engage with everybody again. And that was a really good sort of like idea and thought to be photographed in front of the tent for her. But also, I've photographed a lot of the images so far in black and white, but because Sheva was so wonderfully dressed with lots of colour and those wonderfully bright red sunglasses, just had to go colour. There was no choice. And I think, we suggested working down by the computers, because both Mags and Rosie are sort of like working together in the music there, and we just thought it would be really nice to sort of have something set up down there as a, I guess, looking at a sort of like a music industry sort of a photograph really around the mixing equipment and the computers that they're working with to create the music just in the background, but the emphasis is on obviously Rosie and Mags. I don't have a website as such, but what I do have is 2 Instagram pages. So one of them is just called Kev Howard Photographer, where a lot of my fine artwork and portraiture and community projects kind of, I put images on there. And then I've got a dedicated Instagram site called Kev Howard Gig Photographer, which only has my live performance work on, so I've split the 2.
It turns out that Kevin knew our own dearly departed Kaz. Here's a few words he had to say about her.
I mean, Karen I first met, or not met, but first saw when she was in the Fugitives years back in the 90s, I guess, one of the gigs up here in Hartlepool. And she was the first disabled performer who I saw, working live. We were both working for what was then Cleveland Arts. And I'd met her a couple of times before then, and she really helped mentor and steer my career within the arts in its very, very, very early stages. And then me and Karen, we played at a lot of festivals together in the early 2000s, and remained really good friends right the way through. Yeah, Karen's, very sadly missed, but she was a really, two-way force, not just with myself, but within disability arts and within disability advocacy and disability rights. She was right up there, right at the top, and yeah, sadly missed.